Welcome to Dynamic Drop, where darkness descends and nightmares come alive. Brace yourself for chilling tales that will keep you on the edge of your seat. Let the horror begin.
My name is Emily, and this is the story of how my life turned into a nightmare. It all started a few months ago, on a night like any other. I was just a typical 21-year-old college student, juggling classes, friends, and a part-time job. But something changed that night. Something I can't explain. Something that still haunts me. It was a cold, moonless night, and I was fast asleep in my small apartment, nestled in a quiet suburb. Suddenly, I found myself in a dream so vivid it felt real. I was standing on a hill overlooking a city I didn't recognize. The sky was a deep, unnatural red, and the air was thick with an oppressive heat. I could see people running, screaming, as chaos unfolded below. Buildings crumbled, fires raged, and a sense of impending doom filled the air. It was as if the world was ending. I woke up drenched in sweat, my heart pounding in my chest. The dream had felt so real. Too real. I tried to shake it off, convincing myself it was just a nightmare. Nothing more. But deep down, I couldn't shake the feeling that it was something more. Something sinister. The next day, I went about my usual routine, trying to put the dream out of my mind. But that night, it happened again. The same dream, the same scenes of destruction and chaos. Only this time, it was even more detailed. I saw faces, people I didn't know crying out in terror. I saw shadows moving in the flames, something dark and malevolent. This pattern continued for weeks. Every night I would dream of this apocalyptic scene, and every morning I would wake up with a growing sense of dread. It was as if something was warning me, showing me a vision of the future. But what could I do? I was just a college student, with no way to stop something so catastrophic. Then, one day, the first sign appeared. I was watching the news, sipping my morning coffee, when a report came on about a sudden and unexplained power outage in a nearby city. The reporter described how the entire city had been plunged into darkness for several hours, causing chaos and panic. As I watched, I felt a chill run down my spine. The scene on the screen matched one of the visions from my dreams exactly. I tried to rationalize it, telling myself it was just a coincidence. But as the days passed, more and more events from my dreams began to come true. Small things at first, like strange weather patterns or minor accidents. But then, the incidents started to escalate. Natural disasters, unexplained phenomena, and increasing reports of strange occurrences around the world. I couldn't ignore it any longer. Somehow, my dreams were predicting the future, and it was getting worse. I had to do something, but what? How could I possibly stop these events? Who would believe me? One night, as I lay in bed, dreading the dreams that I knew would come, I decided to start keeping a journal. I wrote down every detail of the dreams, every face, every scene of destruction, hoping that maybe, just maybe, I could find a pattern or a clue that could help me stop whatever was happening. The more I wrote, the more desperate I became. The dreams were getting more intense, and the events they foretold were happening faster. I felt like I was running out of time. I needed help, but who could I turn to? One day, I decided to confide in my friend Sarah. We had been friends since high school, and she was the only person I felt I could trust. I told her everything about the dreams, the predictions, and the growing sense of dread I felt. She listened patiently, her face a mask of concern. "Emily, this sounds serious," she said. "Have you thought about seeing a therapist or something? Maybe there's a logical explanation for all this." I shook my head. "It's not just in my head, Sarah. These things are really happening, and they're getting worse. I need to find a way to stop it." Sarah sighed, clearly unsure of what to do. Okay, let's think about this logically. If your dreams are predicting the future, then there has to be a reason. Maybe you're picking up on something, some kind of warning or signal. We just need to figure out what it is. Her words gave me a glimmer of hope. Maybe there was a way to stop this, to change the future. But how? And what was causing these visions in the first place? As I walked home that night, my mind was racing with possibilities. I knew I couldn't do this alone, but I also knew that time was running out. The dreams were getting more frequent, more vivid, and the events they predicted were becoming more dire. I had to act, but I didn't know where to start. Then, as I rounded the corner to my apartment building, I saw something that made my blood run cold. There, standing in the shadows, was a figure watching me. I couldn't make out their face, but I could feel their eyes on me, piercing and unrelenting. I froze, fear gripping my heart. The figure didn't move, didn't say a word. They just stood there, staring at me. And in that moment, I knew that this was no coincidence. Someone, or something, knew about my dreams, and they were watching me. With my heart pounding in my chest, I hurried into my apartment and locked the door behind me. I leaned against the door, trying to catch my breath, my mind racing with fear and confusion. Who was that person? And why were they watching me? I knew I couldn't stay silent any longer. I had to find out what was happening, why my dreams were coming true, and who or what was behind it all. I picked up my journal and began to write, documenting every detail of the encounter, every fear, every question that filled my mind. What did the figure want? How were they connected to my dreams? And most importantly, how could I stop the events that were unfolding? As I sat there, pen in hand, I realized that this was just the beginning. There was so much more I needed to uncover, so much more I needed to understand. And as the night wore on, I felt a growing determination to find the answers, no matter what it took. But deep down, I couldn't shake the feeling that I was being drawn into something far bigger, far darker than I could ever imagine. And that thought terrified me. Questions to ponder. 1. Who is the mysterious figure watching Emily, and what is their connection to her dreams? 2. Why are Emily's dreams coming true? And is there a way to stop the events she sees? 3. What role does Sarah play in this unfolding mystery? 4. How will Emily's determination to uncover the truth lead her into greater danger? Stay tuned for the next part, where we delve deeper into the mysteries surrounding Emily's dreams and the dark forces at play.